I'm an artist, designer and maker working across both fine art and fashion. Recently, I've been making woven objects and jewellery that explore the formal properties of glass beads. So I've been taking these materials that are conventionally applied to the body or to objects as decoration and building them instead into sculptural forms. I'm interested in pattern and repetition, both as a visual device and as a process. There's something about many small gestures or things coming together to make a whole that I find really satisfying to do and compelling to look at. The style of weave that I'm currently using is a straightforward, time-honoured one practiced the world over. I enjoy its simplicity. There's a kind of transparency of process in the resulting objects. You can look at them and get a sense of how the parts have been drawn together. This idea of the making made visible is important to me. If I ever feel that the work I'm doing is getting too complicated to construct or too fussy to look at, I abandon it. It's almost as though it's a disservice to the weave or to the materials or even to the viewers or the audience if the making of the work can't be accounted for. I also feel a kind of moral obligation to the materials, which are beautiful to begin with, to not interfere too much, to allow them to come together with a kind of ease. So in my mind, to do the best by them involves avoiding too much contrivance on my part. My work draws from embroidery, weaving and dressmaking practices. I'm interested in the histories and traditions of these practices and domestic sites of making in general because they're often overlooked or undermined by popular notions of what constitutes art and design practice. We tend to imagine art and design happening in studios with the almost romantic idea of artists and designers as autonomous visionaries working in isolation. But no one works in a vacuum, and it's the everyday lived and located circumstances of artistic production that interests me most, the nuances of time and place that bear upon what we do and how we do it. The beads come to me in beautiful little packages that almost resemble glass-filled pillows. Recently, I've been working with these packages, weaving the beads inside into flat strips of various lengths. I've been attaching these strips to the remaining beads in the plastic packaging, so depending on the length of the woven segment, the packages contain different levels of unwoven beads inside. I like that each is almost like a gauge or a measure indicating the usage of the beads. I've also been working with pigmented thread to create works on paper. The thread is a brand commonly used in jewellery and bead stringing and comes stained with a pigment that often needs to be wiped off slightly before use. I've been taking this thread and drawing it through layered paper, slowly building up an image with hundreds of passes of the thread. I've also been using the white thread as part of the construction of a piece that I've been thinking of as the glass ribbon. This piece is made from the same diamond-shaped beads that I've been working with in the packaging pieces, but in this case they're woven into a much bigger shape. The piece will resemble a blown-up version of a satin ribbon, the sort used to decorate hair or clothing, complete with a distinctive V shape at the ends, almost as though it had been cut on the bias to prevent fraying. I love the long, laborious process of weaving with beads. There's something about focusing on a simple, repeated action that I need to do. It gives me the time and space to think, to make sense of things. What might seem a mindless or automatic activity actually becomes a way to attend to pressures and challenges. It sets up kind of a benign space to work through issues and ideas.